Hello, viewers. You're welcome to another edition of Drug Watch with J. Pauline. In today's edition, we'll be talking about psychoactive substances. So, what is psychoactive substances? Psychoactive substances are those substances that, when they're introduced into the body, they can alter, affect the central nervous system, and they can alter how the person perceive things around him or how the person thinks. It can alter the individual's behavior. So these substances, they can be illegal or illicit drugs, and there are some medications that are also part of psychoactive substances, which means that there are some medications that, when they are taken, can alter the central nervous system of an individual, and they can also affect the individual's perception of the environment and affect how the individual behaves in general. Okay, so we are looking at some illicit drugs and some illegal drugs, and some medications or some prescription drugs that they are all under psychoactive substances. Okay, now I said that they affect the central nervous system, and we know that central nervous system is an aspect of nervous system of the body, and the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. And we know that most of the activities, or the brain is the engine of the body, which means that almost everything that happens in the body originates from the brain. So you can you can imagine, when a substance affects the brain, it means that the substance alters every processes of the body. So when the brain is affected, it manifests in what we do. It manifests in our mood. It manifests in the perception of the individual, or the judgment of it manifests in the thoughts or judgment of the individual. It manifests in the perception of the individual, and it also manifests in the behavior of the individual. So now, it means, by implication, psychoactive substance has four basic characteristics. One is that it alters the mood. Second is that it alters the individual's judgment or thought processes. The third is that affects it affects the individual's perception, the way the individual interprets things around him. And thirdly is that it manifests in the way the individual behaves. So it alters, it changes the individual's behavior. Okay, so let's take it one after the other. We say the mood. And what is the mood? The mood is your feeling, how you feel about any particular thing or about situations around you. And at any point in time, every one of us has a way we feel. We can either feel happy, we can either feel sad, we can feel anxious. Okay, but when these drugs or substances are introduced into the body, they change the way you feel at the moment. So let's take, for example, that the individual is happy, or used to be the happy type. When the drug is introduced, it can either make the person to be hyper happy, as more happy, or more happier than he used to be. Let me use that one. Happier than he used to be. Or it can bring the individual down. So it can either take the person up or bring the person down. So you are either happier, or you are sad, or you are unhappy. Okay. Then if it's somebody that is not active, somebody that is withdrawn, it can make the person to be more active. So now, if somebody is happy, it can make the person sad. If somebody is sad, it can make the person happy. Then it can also make the individual to be irritable or angry. Remember, I said this is also a form of emotions. Okay, angry or sad or irritability are also forms of emotions. So when the drugs are introduced, you can discover that a youth or an adolescent that used to be respectable can just start getting angry or start getting irritable over slightest things. Get every slight provocation, person gets angry, person flares up. Okay, so that is also the effect of psychoactive substances. Then it can make the individual to either be withdrawn. See that the person starts being on their own, doesn't want to socialize. doesn't want to come out. He starts being all by himself. Okay, then looking at the judgment or the thoughts. If a drug is introduced into the body, it affects how the individual reasons, how the individual thinks. Okay, so now is that thought that will reflect the judgment of the individual. So you see that let's say that there is a school an undergraduate student that is taking a drug. What you discover is that the individual that usually goes to school, does his homeworks, used to read, when he starts taking drugs, he starts procrastinating. When he's supposed to do an assignment, you say, I will not, maybe I will not do it today, let me do it some other time. Or something that is urgent, he will not see it as being urgent. You just see it as something he can do, something he can do at a later time. So now you discover that when the individual is procrastinating it, before you know it, it becomes late for him to do that particular task. So that means that the judgment is affected. Or you see that the person that wanted to achieve a particular goal will at a point feels less concerned about it, just feels it doesn't matter. The judgment is already affected. Or somebody that cares about his health, his wellness, all of a sudden does not care how he feels, does not care how he dresses, does not care about his personal hygiene, the judgment is already affected. Okay. Then let's go to the perception. Remember I said perception is the interpretation the individual gives to things around them. So if something happens to us now, let's say now you stepped on a hot object, is your the brain will interpret it as hot or as painful to you. Okay, so now what you discover is that when the drug is introduced, it alters that perception. So when the individual is feeling pain, the brain is telling you something else. So now at this time, the person either instead of feeling cold when it's cold, will start be feeling hot in a cold weather. So you see now that the person is feeling cold when the weather is hot, or when the weather is hot, the person is feeling cold. So there is a misinterpretation of the temperature or things happening around, or the person is misinterpreting what he's seeing. What you discover, maybe the person is seeing things that other people around him is not seeing, or the person might be hearing voices, hearing sounds that other people are not hearing. So at this time, there's misinterpretation of things happening. At this point, the person can also be having some paranoid thoughts. The person might be suspecting people around him, must be misinterpreting people's responses or people's reactions in his environment. So now, let's look at the behavior of the individual. Remember I said the behavior is also affected. So if this person is already suspicious, we can say that it will manifest exactly how the person behaves to other people around them. So the person might either get over familiar or get withdrawn. The person might be more active or be passive. So when you see somebody that does not socialize, you see the person moving around with everybody, talking to everybody in a social in a party, dancing, being everywhere. That's the effect of some of these substances. Then the person can be more in this case, the person can do things that ordinarily the person will not do, maybe because of his religious background, or maybe because of his upbringing. So some of those things that ordinarily he doesn't do, he will discover that when these substances come in, the person will go beyond boundaries and start doing those things. So these are some of the features or characteristics of psychoactive substances that when they're introduced into the body, they manifest in all these ways. Thank you very much for listening. Do stay tuned to us. Turn on your notification. Remember to share. Send in your comments, your questions. We are also open for, you can invite us if you have social programs where you want us to talk to the youths or the young ones about drug abuse. We'll be glad to be part of your program. We'll be glad to pass the information, to pass the message so that it can reach to the target audience. Thank you very much for your time. Do stay tuned to our channel.